Part of your lab grade is going to be a paper that you actually collaborate on with your lab mates. And then you'll do a peer review of each other to ensure that everyone participated in the project. And this paper will be on a pseudoscience topic. Pseudoscience is something that is all over our society. Even the drugs you can, or the quote drugs unquote, you can buy at Walmart or CVS or Walgreens. There are products out there that look like medicine or that look like they're backed by science, but they're really not. And this is what we call pseudoscience. This is something that uses scientific sounding jargon that sounds like science to a person who doesn't understand what science is, but it is really not science. It is something that's not backed by peer review. It's something that's based on hopes and fear rather than reality. Something that could not possibly work if the laws of physics and nature are true, right? So this is what pseudoscience is. You can read more about it on your own as you work on your project. But what I have laid out here in the pseudoscience project tab on Blackboard, first, there's an assignment due the first week of class where you as your group will pick which topic you want to do. So you're all assigned to a group. You're going to pick a topic. Homeopathy, or did aliens build the pyramids? Chiropractic medicine, or alternative coronavirus treatments for group 2. Just to warn you, group 2, alternative coronavirus treatments might be a cool one, but we do need to find some peer-reviewed articles for that. So double check if there are many available before you commit to it, because I don't know if there will be a lot of resources available or not. We need to find actual scientific articles, not just blogs and things, to back up what you're saying in these papers, okay? Aromatherapy or ear candling for group 3, vaccines and autism or Ouija boards for group 4, reflexology or Reiki or cupping. I gave you 3 options there because they're all kind of related for group 5, or acupuncture or acupressure for group 6. I have links down here on how to find journal articles, because you're going to need to have at least one primary source, so a peer-reviewed journal article for each group member in your group. So everyone needs to find one and contribute to the group, and I have videos down here on how to do that. Okay, so you're going to pick a topic. You can find out more about your lab groups here. You can even use that link to communicate with lab members. I think you can video chat through that link. You can send each other emails, so on and so forth, using that lab group link. There's a video here I want everyone to watch. This is called Here Be Dragons. It's an introduction to critical thinking. It's about pseudoscience. This is a must-watch for every group member. It's about 40 minutes long, so sit down one of these evenings and watch it. Then you have the major assignment. This is going to be a paper with an introduction, scientific analysis, conclusion, and literature cited section. So the material must be supported by a minimum of 1 reference per group member from a peer-evaluated journal. So you can have other sources like websites and things, but you have to have at least 3 or 4 peer-reviewed journals depending on how many members are in your group. You also want to have a citation from a website or something that supports the claim of the product. So you can tell us what the claims of the product are. I would expect most papers to be 3 to 4 pages in length. That's double-spaced, size 12 font, Arial font. Your grade will be determined on the quality of the paper and its science, and each individual will receive a score based on your group's score as well as peer evaluations. For most of you, I expect if your group gets an 80% on the paper, you'll be getting about an 80%. But if you don't do any work and your group members tell me that, then you're going to have up to a 40% deduction on that paper if you didn't contribute to the overall work of the paper. The paper itself is going to have several parts, and I have a file here you can download that has some information on it. And let me see if I can get it to open. Nothing as exciting as watching a download live, all right? Okay, so here we go. The paper must have an introduction, a scientific analysis, conclusion, and literature cited section. So It tells you how many citations you must have, all the stuff I just told you. The paper basically is going to contain an introduction, including background information. So tell me what pseudoscience is. Tell me what the product is. Tell me the claims of the product. When did it show up? What's it based on? Things like that. Analysis. That's the second part of the paper. And actually, this section here is a little bit clearer what I expect to see in this paper. Okay, so analysis. What are the claims made by the supporters? So actually, I have this on here twice. Let's get rid of claims up here and put that in the analysis, okay? So, or you can kind of double up on the claims. That's okay. You can introduce them in the introduction vaguely and then flesh them out in the analysis, okay? So, tell me the claims made by the supporters of the product. Tell me what science has to say about those claims. Experimental design. If you were, this is a third section, if you were going to design a controlled experiment to test the claims of the product or the practice, what would you do? How would you set that experiment up? What would your hypothesis be? And what results would you need to see to accept the claims of the product as real? Okay, so this is where I want you to tell me about what kind of evidence you would need to say, oh no, that's not pseudoscience, that's real, that's sound science. And remember, science relies on repeatability. It relies on trying to prove yourself wrong and all that good stuff. Blind trials, read about double-blind trials, that sort of thing when designing your experiment. What would you need to see to accept the claims as real? Fourth part, a conclusion. What are your conclusions on the topic based on the information from 1, 2, and 3? Is it science or is it pseudoscience, and why? So tell me about science. Tell me why it's not science or why you think it is science. And then the last part will be a literature cited section using APA citation format. Okay. I have once again the topics you may choose from down there, and I have a basic rubric for evaluating your paper. That paper has a due date, which you can see on Blackboard. Not the last week of the class. I think it's the week before the last week of class is when the paper's due. Make sure that it's been reviewed by at least 4 sets of eyes. Don't just have one person edit it and turn it in. 4 people need to have reviewed that paper to look for typos and things and to make it sound good before you turn that paper in. So to prepare for that paper, I really think the first step is to watch the Here Be Dragons video to see what good science is. I'm going to put another optional video in here as well at the bottom. That's another one to help you think how to evaluate this, how to tell something is science or is not science. But at least watch Here Be Dragons. All right, that's it for the Pseudoscience project. That paper will be due towards the end of the semester. 3 to 4 pages I would expect should about do it. Follow the instructions, and when you have questions, of course, let me know.